Thank you so much for coming. Let's start today's practice by coming into a constructive rest if you're on the ground. If you're seated in the chair, come into a position where your spine is supported by the back of the chair. And if you're coming onto the ground, lengthen the spine. Let the feet be a little wider than hip distance, the knees bent towards the ceiling or even coming towards each other. You can rest your hands on your body. Let them lay out long. You can have any props here that you might want. As you start to settle in here, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to invite you to as well. Maybe simply softening the gaze though and letting the eyelids grow heavy. Let's start to take our mind's eye on a bit of a journey as we travel through the body. We'll start to notice any sensations that are there. For many people, there are a lot of sensations, a lot of things that might want to feel different. Or maybe they feel great. But I want you to notice and simply observe what you find without attaching any judgment, any right or wrong, any negative or positive. And instead, simply allow a little bit of space to be there right now. Start to scan down from the top of your head and into your jaw, through the spine and the rib cage, the lungs and heart, down into the abdomen. Scanning down into the heart and abdomen. Down through the hips, into the legs. Start to notice your knees and your calves, your shins, all the way down into your hips, into your feet. Simply take this moment to check in. Now let's observe the mind. Maybe the mind is busy, jumping here and there. Maybe the sensations of your body that feel less than happy. Draw your attention there again and again. Start to bring your mental awareness to the point in the nose where you feel the temperature of the air moving in. For some, the air moving in might feel a little cooler than the air moving out. So as you notice your air moving in and moving out, I invite you to notice your breath. Notice where that breath moves down to with each breath in Is it short and shallow? And in the upper torso? Or is it down a little bit lot deeper in the abdomen? Don't try to change anything for just a moment longer. Simply be with the natural breath. Now begin to take that same awareness as we focus on the function of our breath, as we take a 3-part breath today. We'll breathe in through the nose if it's available. We'll start to feel the air moving down to the deepest part of our abdomen, and then we'll pause. We'll continue to breathe in, filling the middle section of our lungs, and then we'll pause. Finally, filling the air completely, so much so that the collarbones rise as we fill the lungs completely. And then take a slow, steady exhale out. Maybe even imagining the air coming back out that same way from the top, middle, bottom, but all in one smooth transaction of an exhale out. We'll continue with this 3-part breath on our own, letting ourselves get lost in the function of that breath for just a moment. Inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale, slow, steady, exhale. Letting go, I whisper, it's okay to release. Letting go, my body says thank you back to me. Letting go, my mind settles, finding silence so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcoming in peace. This feeling of centeredness, of grounded and ease, becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release. Unknown author. As we take these last few breaths of our grounding meditation, allow yourself to find your natural flow once more. You're still taking that 3-part breath. As we move through our practice today, remember that every stretch, every pose is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to connect with the wisdom inside. We'll take this last breath to offer ourselves a little bit of gratitude. We took time out of our busy day to be here with ourselves in this sanctuary we're creating. And when you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes and allow the eyes to flutter open. We're gonna take and start to rotate through the head and neck, just getting some movement through the neck. If you're on the floor, you're rolling along the back of the neck. And if you're in the chair, you're looking left to right slowly, getting some movement through the neck. Taking just a couple more. And then finding just a little bit of stillness through the head. If you are seated in the chair, come up to the edge of the seat and we'll allow the knees to windshield wiper, letting them fall left to right in unison. No matter whether you're on the chair or on the floor here, or windshield wipering those knees. Our next inhale goes ahead and brings our knees back through the neutral position. And with the next exhale, let's create ourselves into a little ball. If you're on the floor, drawing those knees in towards your chest. If you're in the chair, we're drawing your torso down towards your legs, curling chin in towards your chest. Go ahead and start to take a little rock from side to side, either massaging your back or massaging your glutes here. As we take just a moment to transition. Our next inhale, we'll find our way up into a seated position if we're on the mat. Feeling free to bring whatever props you might want under your hips. And bring your legs crisscross applesauce. You can send them out long or you can bend the knees. Our goal here is to keep our spine straight, no matter where you're at though. And then let's start to take some torso circles, moving from the hips and taking it around. You can get your elbows into it, you can get your shoulders into it, pull your heart forward as you come forward, around the spine back as you go back, going in just one direction for just a few more rounds. Now go ahead and pause and let's reverse it, take it in the opposite direction. Great job. All right, our next inhale brings us back to our straight spine. Draw your shoulders back and drop them down the spine, and then drop your chin to your chest, opening up through the neck. Now, if you want to start to add dynamic movement and rock the chin from side to side, you're more than welcome to do that. Or maybe you stay here, chin to chest, and add a hand for just a little bit more pressure. Take just whatever movement you want here for a few breaths as we start to stretch through the neck. You could hold the head in different directions or take full or half circles. Take any movement that feels good through your neck. About 3 more breaths. Great job. Go ahead and pause and come back through a straight spine. We'll inhale to allow the arms to float out to the sides and then up overhead. You can bring them together or you can keep them separate. We're going to jerk, lean over towards the right. If you're in the chair, you might want to bring your hand down to the chair for a little added support. If you're on the floor, you might want to as well. We're reaching our left hand over towards the right side of the room. With our next exhale, let's take it to the other side. Again, those hands can be together, separate, or one down by the hip as you lean over towards the left. And then inhale back through center. Let's take it to a twist to the right. Take the right hand behind you, lengthen through the spine on your inhale. Exhale as you twist it a little deeper. Inhale, come back through center, arms float up, maybe gaze comes up between the hands. Exhale, twist it to the left. Great job. Inhale through center. Exhale, bring hands down through your prayer position. And then let's come into a seated staff position, sending our legs out long. And always keep a bend in the knees and even put a prop under them, like a rolled up blanket or anything that would add a little cushion. And then maybe you start to press through the heels and flex the toes back towards your shins, but that is not necessary. We sit up tall through the spine. You can even bring your hands by your hips, really lengthening the spine up here. And then inhale, let the arms float up. As we exhale, we hinge at the hips, reaching towards our legs, towards our toes, maybe we grab a strap and wrap it around. Maybe we're just holding somewhere on the leg or on the floor. And each exhale allows us to sink into this forward fold just a little bit. Throughout our practice, when we're holding poses, you're more than welcome to revisit that 3-part breath as a mental focus. Letting your exhale sink you a little deeper. And our next inhale rolls us up through a straight spine. And then let's come into a seated figure 4, taking that right ankle over towards the left knee, letting the right knee fall out towards the right side. If you're seated on the floor, maybe you bring your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards you or away. It's really up to you what feels best in your body. Start to continue to leave the leg long, or maybe bring a bend into the knee, drawing your shin a little closer towards your heart. Adjusting how close your foot is will adjust how deep that stretch is. If you're in the chair, your foot doesn't have to come all the way up to the top of the knee. You can allow it to fall out to the side on the floor. You can bring a prop under it, or you can bring it up to the knee wherever you want to have that. But we're still having that figure 4. We're lengthening through our spine. You want to bring your heart a little closer to your leg. You can hinge forward just a little bit. Beautiful job. All right, one last breath in our figure 4. Our next inhale, extend your leg if you're along on the floor, the bottom leg, the left leg. And if you're seated in the chair, make sure to lengthen the spine. And we're going to start to rock our leg, rock the baby leg. So you're welcome to wrap a strap around the leg if you want, or hold onto the foot and the knee, or you can even bring it into the elbows if that feels good for you. But the goal here is to rock the knee left to right and start to really notice what's happening in that right hip joint. Taking this moment to get up close and personal with what your hip has to tell you today. And after you rock it a couple of times, you are always welcome to bring that right hand down to a secure point by your hip and roll onto the outer edge or even the back of your glute as you explore, giving yourself a massage here. All right, one last breath here, and with either option. We're going to pause. We're going to bring ourselves into a heron pose. So bringing the hand behind the leg, grabbing the leg at any point, maybe the foot, or maybe grabbing a strap and sending it out long. Our leg is at a 45-ish degree angle. The knee can be bent, or the leg can again be pressing through the heel, flexing through the toes. Our goal is to really keep our spine straight. And if we find that we're rounding or leaning back like we're in a boat pose, go ahead and let that leg come down just a little bit, engaging through your core as much as you can. Beautiful herons. Exhale to release the foot slowly to the floor. Great job. Let's take that on side 2. Figure 4 of your position. You want to bend the knee, bend the knee. If you want to hinge forward, making whatever variation feels good on this side. It might be completely different from the other side. So making sure to adjust depending on what this left hip has to say about this shape you're making currently. You're taking a 3-part breath. Go ahead and finish up this round. And on our next inhale, we'll extend our leg or come back into our reset position so that we can start to rock the leg left to right. Again, noticing what there is to notice and the mobility of this hip. Maybe taking the hand down to the floor or to the chair for more support and rocking into outer edges as feels good for you in this moment. Inhale the heron pose. Working to engage the core, keep the spine straight. You're doing great. One last breath here. Exhale to release the leg to the floor. Beautiful job. Feel free to take any movement your body needs. And then we're going to come into tabletop. So if you're on the mat, you're going to come onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And if you're in the chair, let's use our chair as the mat and then bring our hands under our shoulders. You can use the high part or the low part, but the goal here is to create a straight line from the shoulders to the wrist and from the heels all the way up through the hips and bringing a nice gentle bend into the knee if you're taking this from the chair variation. Our next exhale, let's start to drop the belly as we come into a cow pose, lifting our gaze, letting our belly sag towards the floor. And then inhale, roll through the spine, curl chin to chest. And then start to take the movement in your own rhythm and in your own time, moving through the spine. Great job. Let's pause in our tabletop. And then take your right hand and circle it out to the side and then maybe up behind you a little bit towards the ceiling, opening up through the heart space. And then let's thread the needle, drawing that right arm under the left arm, between the body and twisting here. So if you're in the chair, you're reaching through and dropping your right ear towards the chair. And if you're on the mat, you can drop the shoulder to the floor to a prop like your block. And drop the head to the floor, a prop like your block. We'll take one more breath on this side. Pressing into that left hand, inhale to unwind and open back up. Exhale, tabletop variation of your choice. And let's switch sides. Inhaling left arm up and open. Exhale, thread your needle, pull it through. Twist the ear towards the prop. Doesn't have to touch it. Twist through. One more breath. Inhale to open. Exhale, tabletop. And then from our tabletop, we're going to move into a downward facing dog. So go ahead and on the floor, bend the knees and start to let them lift off the mat, lifting the hips up into the air. If you're in the chair, make sure your chair is secure, maybe up against a wall or something. You could always just use the wall as well if that feels more secure in your world. But we're gonna start to shift our hips back, keeping our hands shoulder distance apart, and let our head dip between our arms. No matter which variation we're choosing, we're pressing through the hands. We have a generous bend through our legs. Maybe you take a few petals of the legs, shifting the weight left to right. Maybe you take a deep exhale with a sigh, letting it all hang out. Great job. We'll take one more breath here. And our exhale releases us into a child's pose. If you're in the chair, we're going to take our child's pose from the chair. We're going to come up just a little bit closer, walk our hands to the back of the seat or up closer towards the wall. We're going to just take a gentle bend in our knees and drop our hips as we allow our head to sink down in between our arms, extended along the chair. If at any point the knees start to feel too much, you can straighten them back out into a dolphin pose. And on the mat, your knees can be together or separate as you extend your body out long. Feel your breath here. Notice what there is to notice in this moment. And then as we inhale, we'll find our way coming up to a standing position, our mountain pose. Getting there in our own time and in our own way, maybe even taking a drink on the way there. We find our mountain pose, feet can be together or separate, hands by the hips. Inhale, circle hands up, tall mountain, reach them up. We're gonna take just a simple balance challenge, so feel free to bring a hand to a wall or a prop of choice if you'd like a little more stability. We'll start by lifting our right heel and then setting it down and lifting our left heel. You can go slow left to right, or you can take it a little bit quicker if that feels okay in your body. And maybe you even want to lift both heels if that feels like an option. That is not going to let you tip over. Take one more breath, playing around with heel lifts, toe stands, getting some strength in the bottom of the feet. And then with our next exhale, bring those feet down, heels down, and let's swan dive into our first standing forward fold. Hands can come to legs, to your prop, like a chair or a block, or they can reach down towards the floor. And let's take a little bit of a dangle here. So maybe you grab opposite elbows, sway a little side to side, maybe you move through the head and the neck. You pause there. Hands return to their previous location if you grabbed opposite elbows. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees to bend. Drop the hips towards the heels, and then take a slow roll, one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to standing. As you inhale, arms reach up, tall mountain. Just like in our floor exercises, hands can stay together, they can separate, or one can come down to your hip or a prop, but we're going to take it over towards the right into a side bend. Inhale back through center. Exhale through the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, circle the hands towards the lower spine. Take that bind, either hands interlaced, wrists, elbows. Maybe you grab your shirt, or maybe you have that strap in between your hands, but you're drawing your knuckles down. You're letting your shoulders roll behind you. Maybe you even lift your chin just a little bit, opening through the heart space. Beautiful job. Our next exhale allows a deep bend in our knees and our hips to start to hinge. We're going to come into a forward fold. Keep your hands at your hips. You can hold them in an airplane position if that feels like a great option. You could even lift them up off the hips with the bind if you would like, or you could drop them toward your prop for some more stability. We'll take just one more breath wherever we're at in this shoulder opener. If the hands are lifted above the head, go ahead and drop them towards the hips, and then we'll all release our hands towards our props or legs or floor. Inhale, tall mountain. Beautiful job. Allow the hands to come towards center, down through a prayer, into mountain pose. Beautiful flow there. All righty. Let's go ahead and step the right foot back. We're going to come into a warrior two. So we're going to open our hips up, toes to the side, start to bend through that front knee and send the arms out wide to a T. Again, focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together as you pull your arms away from each other. Bending through the front bent knee. We're going to take our back hand. We're going to circle it in front of us towards that front hand. We're going to pull a bow and arrow, doing an archer arm, slowly along that extended front arm, and then across our torso, back into our warrior two. Beautiful job. All right, our next inhale, we're going to straighten that front leg. We're then going to pull our front fingertips forward. And with an exhale, we're going to take it into a triangle pose. Hand can rest on our leg or on a prop of our choice. And start to stack the wrist and shoulders in a straight line and pull your back hip towards the wall behind you actively here in our triangle pose. Beautiful job. Maybe the gaze is down by your hand or down by your foot. Maybe it's out in front of you or up towards the ceiling. Beautiful triangle. Inhale to pinwheel the arms back to a T. And then let's reverse our triangle pose. Taking the back hand to our hip or down the leg, and top hand circles overhead, stretching out. Beautiful job. Inhale to come back through a T. I'm going to pull those front fingertips forward one more time. See if you can reach them a little further forward. Exhale, hinge, triangle pose one more time. Changing it up on you just a little bit. Let's take our top arm and start to circle it down towards our bottom arm. Now we practiced that archer arm just a moment ago, so we're going to practice that once more here in this triangle position. But you're going to take it on your own. You're going to take it nice and slow. We'll do 3 full rotations. As you inhale as slowly as you can, really allow yourself to feel the muscles that you're using as you pull that arm slowly up the other arm. Pulling that bow and arrow, twisting through the spine as you send the hand out, stacking wrists and shoulders. And then take it again. Circle the arm, take it at your own pace, but take it really slow as you possibly can. Allow yourself to experience it. Beautiful job. After your last one, inhale, arms to a T. Circle the back hand as you step the back foot up. Mountain pose. All right, let's take that side too. Step the second left side back, second side, whichever that is for you. Bend through the front knee. Start to send the arms out wide in your warrior two, squeezing. Imagine maybe squeezing a grape or a nut between your shoulder blades as you pull the fingertips out to the opposite sides. Doing great. We're going to take one archer arms here, so take your time, circle the arm forward. Pull your bow and arrow. Did you lose the bend in your knee? Go ahead and re-sink in. Great job. Inhale, straighten both legs down. Take the arms wide. We're gonna take our triangle variation, pulling our fingertips forward. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Find the prop, the leg, the floor of your choice. But again, stack wrists and shoulders and pull that back hip. Beautiful triangles. Inhale to bring it through center. Exhale to reverse your triangle. Opening up through the front side. Inhale back through a T. All right, exhale, pull the hand forward. Hinge and find your triangle once more. Pause here, make sure your form feels good and you're feeling sturdy. And when you're ready, start to take your 3 archer arms. At your own slow pace, matching your breath to your movement. And truly allowing yourself to be present with the movement from start to finish. Inhaling, arms to a T when you're finished. Exhale, step it up, mountain pose. Great job. Feel free to take any movement that you want there. Alrighty, we're gonna take our feet a little wider than hip distance, even maybe as wide as the mat if you are standing sideways on. Toes are out, heels are in. If you're taking chair poses, you can have that chair in front of you or even behind you as a support behind you. As we exhale, we're gonna start to bend into a shallow squat here. You're sitting over the chair, you're hovering over the chair. You can always bring the back of your spine to a wall for added support here. If you're noticing anything not feeling quite lovely about your toes. We're in our shallow squat now. Let's inhale, circle arms up and overhead if they're not holding on to support. And then exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze the nut between your shoulder blades. Great job. Inhale, 5-pointed star for release. Wiggle the fingers. And then move the heels in line with the toes. So we're not in our widest wide leg position. We're still just slightly wider than mat distance. But then we're going to exhale and hinge into our forward fold here. Noticing how that feels different than all the other forward folds we normally take. You can always have a bend in your knees. Great job. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, step it into mountain pose. All right. We're going to come into some cobras. So if we're taking this from a standing position, you'll either come behind your chair or up against a wall, hands about shoulder distance apart. You're coming down onto our mats. We're going to come down onto our tummies, under our abdomens. Always welcome to add a blanket for some added cushion if you would like. Hands under shoulders, feet as wide as our mat. As we settle into whichever variation, our spine is straight. And then start to press into your hands as you lift your gaze, lift your chin, roll back through the upper spine, pressing into your hands, whether they're on the floor, the chair, or the wall, really feeling that upper spine. where we've been squeezing that nut all day. Now we're arching it back. Very specific micro movement. Exhale, release, straight spine. We're gonna take this 2 more times at your own pace. So take it as slow as you can, as you once again experience from beginning to end 3 rolling cobras. Beautiful job. Last time, forehead releases to wall or floor, or if you're standing behind the chair, straight spine. Beautiful job. Alrighty, from here, we're gonna take a shoulder stretch. So if we're on the floor or on the wall, start to send your right arm out long into a T. If you're taking this on the chair, you can use it just the chair as well. The wall, it might feel a little bit more intensity or um, more pressure, but you could also use the chair as resistance here. So it would be probably more at an angle though versus a T. All right, wherever we're at, you can either stay here with the arms stretched or start to slide that left hand under your shoulder like a cobra, and then start to push your body away from the surface that your arm is pressing against, opening up through the hips. You can bring, if you're on the floor, you can bring your opposite leg as a kickstand, either in front of or behind your other leg. Your opposite hand could be on your hip, it could be on the floor. You could even take it into a bind along the lower spine. And you change how intense the stretch is on the arm. If you're on the floor, by bringing the hip closer to the floor, out of that 90-degree position, or walking the hand closer towards the head or closer towards your hips, can also adjust that stretch. Allowing your head to rest on the floor, the chair, or the wall, maybe prop. We'll take one last breath in this stretch once you've found that lovely, oh so good feeling. Exhale to release. And let's take that into side 2. So sending the arm out to a T, maybe starting to open that hip up. Might not be 90 degrees, it might be 45 degrees. Finding the position that feels good for you. Adjusting the hand up, down. Anything that feels good in your body. And again, maybe resting the head somewhere if it's available. Using the chair as your pressure point. Your head will not have anything to rest against, so you'll have to hold it up. We'll take one more breath and our shoulder opener of our choice. Exhale to release. Alrighty, from the floor, roll over onto your backs and on the chair, come into a seat. We're going to keep our hips forward, but allow our shoulders to lean back. Don't put a prop back there, even if you normally do. Just for a moment in this reclined position, we're going to take a bridge variation. So with our next inhale, begin to squeeze your glutes and engage your core. And start to lift your hips away from the floor or away from your chair. Now they can just hover a little bit or they can come up a little bit higher, but really squeeze those glutes, allow your shoulders to relax back. One last breath in the bridge of your choice. If you're in the chair, you can hold on to the sides of the chair for support. And then with our next exhale, lower hips back down. And find that windshield wiper of the knees once more. It can be a big movement or a small movement, but rotate through the hips, letting the knees fall in opposite directions. And we'll end today's class coming into a legs up the wall variation. So if you're seated on the floor or laying on the floor, moving your hips onto any piece of furniture or a wall in your room that allows you to lift those feet up higher than your head. They don't even have to be straight, they can be bent if that feels good for you. And bring them onto the seat cushions of a chair. If you're seated in the chair, you have to be a little more creative. You can move maybe to a couch and lay on a couch and put your feet up on the back of the couch or the arms of the couch. I also like from my chair, continuing to stay in that position we were just in, this time adding the prop though, and then bringing my feet up onto a piece of furniture or wall in my room that allows my feet to just be a little higher than my heart here. Hands can rest on your body alongside. We're coming here into this final resting pose. You're welcome to hold it even throughout the final meditation or just for a few breaths with us here now. But as you settle in here, notice the body. Maybe come back into that 3-part breath. After all that movement, are you ready to really release, really let go as the poem? Letting your body thank you as you allow it to release, finding comfort. Now, like I said, you are welcome to stay here into our final meditation, and if so, you might want to add additional props. You're welcome to have blankets on your abdomen or something covering your eyes. If you're not warm, you can always add stuff to help you be a little warmer. And if legs up the wall for an extended period of time does not serve your body, you can feel free to come down at any point and find yourself settling into whatever resting pose feels good for you. From corpse pose, laying out flat, to constructive rest, any other variations of props that might feel good in your body today. We'll allow ourselves to maybe close our eyes or simply soften our gaze. We haven't already. If we were playing around with 3-part breath, begin to release that, letting our breath find its natural flow. Settling into whatever pose we've chosen and knowing that we can always adjust throughout these final moments so that we can rest here in comfort. We'll end our practice today with a loving kindness meditation. This meditation is designed to bring warmth and goodwill to your life. So take any last adjustments. Make yourself truly comfortable. Taking a few deep breaths as you settle into your body in this present moment. invite you to come into this present moment, following your breath in and out of your body, allowing yourself to settle into this very moment, to relax and soften. And then when you're ready, bring to mind a person or another living being who truly makes you smile. They naturally bring happiness to your heart. And let yourself remember and surround yourself with what it feels like to be in this being's presence. Allowing yourself to enjoy their good company in your mind for just a moment. And then take just a moment to recognize how vulnerable this being is. Just like you. Subject to illness and aging and suffering. But they also wish to be happy and free from suffering. Just like you and every other being on this earth. So today we'll repeat silently, softly, gently, feeling the importance of our words. As we imagine this being in our mind, we'll send them our loving kindness verse. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Anytime you start to notice your mind has wandered, gently guide it back to the image of your loved one in your mind, savoring any warm feelings that may arise. As we say it again, may you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. Now let's add ourselves to our circle of goodwill. Maybe placing a hand over your own heart, feeling the warmth, and offering yourself and your loved one some loving kindness. May you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. Again, really allowing the intention of your words to flow, the loving kindness verse. May you and I be safe. May you and I be peaceful. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. We'll begin expanding our circle even more, including those we love and cherish. Maybe including those who are nice to us at the grocery store. Or expanding a little bit more and including those who haven't been nice. We'll include in anyone in this circle we'd like to send loving kindness to. May we all be safe. May we all be healthy. May we all be peaceful. May we all live with ease. May we all be healthy. May we all be safe. May we all be peaceful. May we all live with ease. Finally, sometimes the hardest person to offer loving kindness to. We'll end by offering loving kindness directly to ourselves. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. Taking one last deep breath. Deepest breath of our day so far. Allowing yourself to rest quietly in your own body. Savoring the goodwill and kindness that flows naturally through you. Knowing that you can return to these phrases anytime your heart desires. When you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, fluttering the eyes open. Come up to face me in your own time, in your own way. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a great week ahead of you and that you take time to allow and to connect with your inner intuition. Thank you and have a great day. Until next time.